Good afternoon, or evening, or whenever the hell you happen to be watching this. This is going to be my second half of my year-in review kind of video series for 2018. So if you've seen one of these before, you know it's very loosely edited. It's not going to be like that X2 video I just put up. So this video is going to be me talking about the last couple of videos I put out in 2018. So I guess we'll start with talking about two expensive Spider-Man games, which was the longest video of the year, the longest video on the channel by a wide margin. Probably won't be the longest video on the channel for long, because I'll be putting out a prototype video soon. Just so you guys know, in case you didn't check the little update that I dropped as well, the prototype video is going to be coming out soon. I just lost like 30 hours of work. Half of the file just got corrupted, and I got to redo the whole thing. So the prototype video is going to be up soon enough. But either way, let's talk about two expensive Spider-Man games. This one took like 2 whole months to make, half of that being writing and half of that being video work. The writing part was actually really easy for this one. Usually that's the hardest part for me. Usually the writing is where the most thought and time goes into. Editing is usually, it comes more naturally because you already have the base set up and you can just kind of cut it together with what you got. It's a lot easier, a lot more lax. But the writing on this one came pretty easy because I love these two fucking Spider-Man games, and I've played them so much, and I've always wanted to talk about them, so it just came naturally, and all the jokes just fell into place. The process with this one, the process with all of my videos is usually like I'll play through the game, and I will write down my thoughts and opinions and jokes, observations as I go. And then when it actually comes time to write the script, I have all of these jokes and these random thoughts and opinions on mechanics and level design, all that shit. So I'll take those random little notes and I'll put them inside the structure that I've created. Structure is so fucking important for these videos and for, I think, good YouTube essays or just essays in general, just across the board. So I had an outline written up. This video was really easy to outline because I had 2 separate games, so I knew I could divide it into 2 sections, and then I was able to divide Shattered Dimensions into 4 sections, so I was able to put all the jokes that I'd written for Shattered Dimensions into one of those 4 sections, so I didn't have to figure out where these jokes would go as I was just writing it, you know, kind of haphazardly. It was really easy for me to slot in jokes and observations into these parts of the outline for the script that I'd written. So if you're ever making YouTube videos, that's my fucking advice. Structure. Structure is super important. Outlines for your script and your video will make everything so much fucking easier. It made this video so much easier than it could have been, even though it took 2 goddamn months. But still, I mean, 47 minutes, it's gonna take a minute. So the editing part was also divided into 2. I did the Shattered Dimensions and then Web Shadows in total separate projects, and then I just combined them at the end. But, you know, I had kind of jokes that would connect them all together and references to the different parts of the script and shit. But yeah, no, I think this is probably the best video of 2018. The best video I made that year. I think it might be the best video I've made yet, honestly, which is great. I'm glad that I can end 2018 saying that I made something that I think is better than last year, which is great. But yeah, I guess that's it. I really love that fucking video. I think it's really funny. I still think about some of the jokes in there. And the joke about the mob of whites attacking Spider-Man on the rooftop near the Web of Shadows, like the end of the Web of Shadows bit, that shit, I think that's one of the funniest fucking jokes on this whole channel. It's just the footage matches what I'm saying so perfectly. That's what I always try to do. That's where the best jokes come out of, is when the audio and the visual is synced perfectly. That's when you get the best laughs, is when you set up, like, when you can see what's happening right before the joke hits, so your mind starts to work on why this is funny, and then I come in and then I deliver some weird shit. That's when the best jokes come, I feel, or at least a lot of them. So next up is 5 things a new Time Splitters game needs. So I had to make this video the second I heard that THQ Nordic had acquired the Time Splitters rights back in August, I think, or July. I just had to, because Time Splitters is my favorite series of all time, bar fucking none. And I just had to put my thoughts out there as to what this game needed to do to be a real-ass Time Splitters game, because that shit is so close to my heart. It is like, it's such a beautiful series, and I could not bear seeing it fucked into the ground, which I feel like there's a high potential for that with the way the industry's working these days, like microtransactions, all that bullshit. It's gonna get shoved in there somewhere, and that's fucking despicable to me, but I hope it doesn't. Either way, fun little anecdote about this. The second I heard that the rights had been acquired by THQ Nordic, I knew, because they own Dambuster Studios, and that's where a lot of the old Time Splitters guys are currently. And so the first thing I fucking did, as somebody who recently graduated college for game design, I immediately applied for Dambuster. They had 3 jobs up. They had a fucking junior design person. I would have been perfect for that fucking shit. They got back to me. The first person I emailed was literally the fucking president of THQ Nordic. Like, it was crazy to email that dude, but his email was attached to the press statement, the press release of the rights acquisition. So I fucking emailed him. I got a response several days later after I had been already interacting with the Dambuster people, but I did get a response from the fucking president of THQ Nordic saying, like, man, that was great that you sent me that. I really hope that you can get with us somewhere. And that was just, it was wonderful to hear that from somebody so high up, and that he just bothered to respond, or even got my fucking email. But either way, I was in talks with the Dambusters people for 3 or 4 good emails. We were talking about it. We were trying to work out some kind of thing where I could end up there, because they're based in the UK, and in the end it just didn't work out. The UK labor laws, there's a tier system, like tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or some shit. You have to apply to work in the UK, and America, the US, I think it was during the Bush administration. I don't know. We fucked something with the UK where now it's really hard for U.S. citizens to get over there and work unless it's something very specific that they're assigned to. So the labor laws and the tier system just fucked me, and I wasn't able to get into Dambuster. But I swear, man, if they were based out of the U.S., I would be there right fucking now. I wouldn't have stopped. But yeah, I all I can do is wish Dambuster the best and hope that, you know, they put out some shit that I love. I have faith in them. I think they can do it. Third video to discuss, Street Sweeper. This is one of my Far Cry 5 maps. I don't even know if I should talk about this one, but it was a good time putting together Street Sweeper 2, Street Electric Sweepaloo, which is the official full title that I wasn't able to put into the editor because it was too long. So it's a fun mission. Street Sweeper is a series that I wanted to finish. I wanted to make a third one to kind of conclude this fake storyline of this, you know, this rook, this private who got stuck in a post-apocalyptic city, and his plane went down right near the raiders. I don't fucking know. It's just a total loose story of a rookie trying to make his way out of a hellish post-apocalyptic scenario, and while the colonel is looking over him at all times, watching him from a distance. The third level would have been like kind of a drive. It starts with a driving segment, and then it gets to a final base where you take out the whole raiders and you know, you save the city. But I ain't gonna do that shit, because that's a lot of fucking work, and I don't give a fuck. But yeah, no, the time I spent with the Far Cry 5 editor was really fun. It's amazing. It's an amazing fucking system that was totally butchered by their lack of support for it. The Far Cry 5 editor could have been something really, really unique, really special, really cool, that could have gone on for years, but you just know, I mean, Ubisoft doesn't do that shit. Ubisoft isn't going to keep supporting something for years because they're going to put out another game in fucking 2. I don't know, they didn't add any new modes, they didn't really keep it updated, the system for which maps were like high ranked, like those never changed, so the highest ranking or most played maps were always the same ones. There were a bunch of issues that led the system down a bad path, and I don't know, it's just kind of a failure at this point, which is really sad, because the actual base editor in Far Cry 5 is fucking incredible. You can't get that shit anywhere else. There is no console game that lets you do that kind of shit. It's very sad that the support wasn't adequate for the actual editor. But despite that, it was still really, really cool to play with. I'm not making a top 10 of 2018, just so you know, but this would have landed, Far Cry 5's map editor would have landed at spot number 10. So yeah, I'm not doing a top 10 of 2018. I'm going to be doing mostly because I didn't have a game this year that like really felt like my number one. Like my number 1 and 2 are Dead Cells and Red Dead, and I love both those fucking games, but it's not Dishonored 2, it's not Bloodborne, it's not Nier Automata. Those 3 games during my last 3 top 10s of the years, those 3 games really stuck with me, and they've stuck with me to this day, and I still love them with all my fucking heart. 10 out of 10 for all 3 of them. And Red Dead is amazing, okay? It is so close to a 10 out of 10. It's a beautiful experience. Arthur Morgan is one of the best protagonists in video game history, bar fucking none. Amazing performance, amazing development for all the characters in the cast. But I don't fucking know, dude. It just didn't reach that peak for me. I think it might come down to the gameplay being a little sluggish in typical Rockstar fashion. It's very ungamey, it's very realistic, and I'm usually not into those kind of games, but the story kept me going. So, but either way, I'm not making a top 10 in 2018 because there wasn't a real one game that really got me in my soul or anything. But what I'm going to do instead is do a top 20 of 2018 and 2019 next year at the end of, next year. So that's going to be a really, really weird list. I've never seen anybody do that, so fuck it, why not me? It's going to be weird seeing 2018 games pop up in a list with 2019 games. Man, what's going to come out this year? It's going to be such a weird fucking list. Moving on to a semi-comprehensive critique of Spider-Man. Both those videos, I'll do them both at once. So the first one, actual semi-comprehensive critique is a pretty strict critique. Usually my videos are pretty jokey, but this one is like probably one of the least jokey videos of 2018. It's a pretty solid critique, I think. I hit a lot of the notes, everything I felt I put in there, until I didn't, so I had to make a second part. I think it's very in-depth, except for that one fuck-up about the heavy takedowns, where I said that there aren't heavy takedowns in the game, but there definitely are. That was a fuck-up. The second I posted that fucking video, everybody was like, are you serious? All the first comments were like, no, you can do heavy takedowns. And immediately I was like, oh my fucking god! Oh no! I gotta take it down! But it was too late. I couldn't. It was over. So I pretty much had to lay a response down on every single one of those comments. Like, oh yeah, that was stupid of me. That was real fucking dumb. I'm glad I didn't go back and edit that shit out though. Like that would have taken a lot of time and would have been totally pointless. Might as well just take the embarrassment. I made the second part because like the first 34-minute semi-comprehensive critique of Spider-Man, that's based on the game we got. And the extra bits are based on the game that I wanted to get. So I felt like the extra 10 minutes of ideas kind of really didn't fit with that main video, so I made a separate one about all my weird, out-of-left-field kind of hopes. And man, I still stick by the fact that, like, a game that lets you create custom Spider-Man suits, give me that shit right now, because I'll pay $100 for it. I don't give a fuck. I'll pay $200 for it. But yeah, this one came together pretty easily. I think I might have actually been one of the first people on YouTube. Not one of the first people, but, one of the first. I was in the first 100, I think, of people who made a Spider-Man critique video, because I got that shit out, like, maybe a week and a half after the game came out. I got that shit out quick. It was fast. It was a fast process, and I thought that would translate into more views, and it did not. But either way, got it out quick. I'm really happy with it. I think if somebody at Insomniac happens to see it, I don't know why the fuck they would, but I don't know, maybe they'd get something out of it. Alright, and finally, the top 10 antagonists, the second top 10 of the year. So this one took like a full month to make because I've been working. I got this job at I don't know if I should even say where I work, but I got this job at a place, and they were working me so hard for so long. Like, I'm talking 60-hour weeks. I'm talking 70-hour weeks. I'm a server at a restaurant, so, like, I get paid in tips, and sometimes you go in and you work for 10 fucking hours, and you walk out with $40. Like, it's rough. Sometimes you walk out with $200, sometimes you walk out with jack fucking dog shit. It's a pain in the ass. But either way, I was working so hard that this video took me a full month. Like, I just had to, when I would come home, I would just be so exhausted. Like, I would be able to work an hour or two every night after working these long-ass fucking shifts from hell. But they're working me less now, which is nice, I guess. But yeah, this top 10 video, I think it's pretty solid. I think it's definitely better than the weapons video. The top 10 weapons of the top 10 from 2018. That shit, the audio quality is miserable in that fucking video. I'm sure I mentioned it in the last year in review. But yeah, the audio quality is much improved over that top 10 one. Still don't know what the fuck happened to that audio, but it's disgusting. So yeah, this one's good. Some of the jokes in it are like a year or two old. I've been wanting to do a top 10 antagonists list for literally multiple years now. So some of the jokes about GLaDOS, when I say she's constantly taking you on a one-way trip to put downtown, that joke is from like 2 years ago. Like I wrote that like multiple years ago. It's a weird thing, but some of the jokes in there are like really old. Just so you know, I guess. So yeah, that's my year in review discussion. Hope you got something out of it. If you happen to listen and make it this far, what else? What else do I talk about? I think that's kind of it. I've been playing Resident Evil 2. Guys, if you haven't fucking played Resident Evil 2, I'm just going to put a clip of that game at the end of this video because it's fucking awesome and it scared the goddamn shit out of me. Play Resident Evil 2 if you haven't, because it's... Okay, if it had come out last year, I would have made a top 10 of 2018 video. I swear to God, because, like, I've been playing this game for a week and a half, and I already love it more than just about every game that came out last year. That shit, go buy it. Go buy Resident Evil 2, because this is the way the series needs to, like, look moving forward. We need more of this. Spend your money on it. Here's a clip.